Yahweh and Confucius.
Yeah.
Insert deity here. I don't see it. They're all sacred. They're all valuable. They all have helped mankind. I worship them all, apparently, because I like them all, right? I believe in them. If none of them are to die, it is because I believe in all of them, right? Now, I don't worship any of them. I don't even worship myself. I worship love. I mean, the closest I've ever come to a god would be like Aphrodite or something like that. I'm serious. They don't make gods for somebody like me. I mean, the Greeks did, so that was the only fucking religion I ever actually caught into ever. That and Zen Confucianism, Zen Buddhism. Zen Buddhism, Zen Confucianism, and anyways, are really good because they're general enough to respect everything in existence.
Imagine being sold like privacy tools, and then you find out, oh shit, the company allegedly.
But are they better? No better than snake handling. Nope, same thing.
You just sold your stuff anyways. Like, imagine them putting advertising like this up there on their page and saying, anti-tracking protects your privacy by preventing websites, ad companies,
Worship.
and other...
Worship comes in one flavor. Worship. It might be to different entities. It's the same fucking thing. You've been killing yourself for fucking... I'm sorry. Well, yeah, to me, it's like killing yourself. Israel, Palestine, Russia, Ukraine, either for love of God or love of money, you are killing yourselves out there in Gaza Strip all day. You are killing you're either killing your brother or killing yourself. You're not killing anybody that isn't your brother or yourself. Listen to Gandhi. Listen to MLK. They told you this shit. It's simple. You're fucking stupid. You've been fucking killing the world. We need you to stop now. You have turned all the children in the world into pretty much like, not all the children, but a lot of the children in the world are suffering right now because of your greed. That's against your God. Wouldn't God command you to stop now?
Services from tracking your activity and then allegedly just selling
And I don't care about speaking for God. I don't care.
it off en masse.
Speak for Confucius. I don't fucking care. All of them will tell you that what you're doing is bad. You aren't going up there. I don't care how many virgins in heaven he promises you, which is, by the way, the foulest, most sickest fucking thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. You're gonna go rape 72 virgins in fucking heaven to go get good with God. What in the literal fucking based ass pedo shit? You hear it on YouTube, you hear it in the Bible. What?
Someone else. Really scummy behavior. When you look at
what do you think virgins are? Children. So yeah, you can go fuck 72 children in fucking heaven to go kill some religion in the Middle East or whatever idiot fucking low IQ reading the Bible instead of, text history books and shit. Idiot fucking reality for 3,000 years or whatever. And you can keep having your fucking stupid religious wars, but I'm never gonna respect you. I don't care who you kill. And I don't care which side wins. You're fucking stupid. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. There's only $1. There's only one, if not billions, of gods. There's only one, if not billions, of dollars. There's only one, if not billions, of humans. There's only one, if not billions, of everything. There's one, if not billions, religions, And for you to fight each other over it, go to hell. Don't care. Hope your God condemns you on the way. Don't care. Fuck you and your religious wars. You can suck a dick. I don't care how many kids die. Yeah, I mean, I do care how many kids die. But I don't care until you stop. You know what I'm saying? Until you stop, I don't care. I can't care. You have wasted children for so fucking long. I had to stop caring. You understand what your foul, sacrilegious wars have done to this fucking planet? You sick, hell-bound, fucked up country fucking governments and religious fucking zealots. Do you have any fucking idea the tens of thousands of years of fucking recovery, the 9 months for every life that you've killed, every mother that you fucking robbed of her life's goal, every time you drop a bomb on a mother's house? I think go to hell and burn. I don't care who dies. You're all wicked. And I wash my hands of you. Sorry.
description for their mobile software, and they're like,
God is good, God is great. Let's all fucking go kill each other over money.
hold on.
And God and oil. God's great. He told you to do that apparently because you're doing it. But do you really think God told you to go do that? Did God go tell you to sack Afghanistan, the piece of shit Bush family? Did God tell you to do that? Kill all those people? Did he? Did God tell Nixon to go to Vietnam? You really seem to think that God did. But no. So go on with your little sacrilegious, fucking heretical, anti-God, anti-human, fuck up the world and kill everything fucking vibe. You go on with it. I'm not saving you.
Pal, you can protect yourself against viruses and pop-ups. Get alerted.
You can protect yourself against bad actors as they go full-blown black hat and kill the world and steal all the money.
Install spyware and adware.
Anti-virus.
Usually when you install anything free, you're the product, okay?
Virus.
In this situation, it seems you were the product.
Virus.
This is an FTC
Anti-virus.
Now,
right. You got to say it's an old Simpsons joke, right? Oh shit! I said the loud part quiet and the quiet part loud, right? Antivirus. You got to say the anti really quietly because it's not real. Antivirus. You can go get your antivirus software. You can go get your antivirus software. Virus is the active word here.
Even beyond all of this, when you're paying for Kaspersky, the whole point is
you have pretty much funded the demon bankers to commit atrocities overseas and with wars overseas. Congratulations.
Installing invasive software on your system. So one of the scary parts about this is with any antivirus software, there's a chance that if it detects anything that it finds suspicious, it may upload files from your computer to its cloud server for analysis. Now, the thing about uploading your files to somebody else's hard drive is you have no actual idea if that file is going to get deleted. Even if they
vice versa. You don't know if the file that you got from them is going to delete either.
In an entire privacy policy.
It goes both ways. It often does.
We'll see that, yeah, we'll delete your file.
I'm kidding.
After so on and so forth.
But yeah, Trojans will fuck you both ways. Oh yeah, definitely.
Who's to say you can trust them? It's one of the reasons why I don't use cloud service providers. I actually have my own personal cloud server in my basement where I upload and just keep my
That
files
seems
stored.
insane to me. Just reformat.
I upload it to a server in my basement. They download it through my internet connection. It is that simple.
But hey, he's careful.
Again, going to this,
I mean, they say that he makes like probably 100 million a year or something like that. So yeah, he isn't kidding. He probably does have like a whole. I mean, I would do it too if I had that kind of money. I would definitely set a team of fucking network admins, like probably 2 or 3 of them, pay him 10 grand a fucking year, or sorry, not 10 grand a year, but like like whatever it is, 100 grand a year, whatever network admins get, and I'd probably blow like 300 of my 10 mil to just keep 3 network admins running all of my tech and hardware all the fucking time and combating all this shit on the front line, so I don't have to fucking think about it, because you can only combat it. You can't inoculate from it, so I don't care about it.
Whole situation right.
I just reinstall at that point and just reinstall all my games. That's way less time than fighting it.
One of the things that I was looking into was a story of how the NSA actually had some of its hacking tools possibly stolen by Kaspersky.
When I write a text file, I assume that Windows is going to delete it or not save it. When I do a comment on YouTube, I assume that YouTube's not going to save it or delete it or back button me or hard code the mice and stuff. If I run a program on Windows, I assume it will fail. If I run a calculator, it's going to erase the number that I put in. If I use software, if I try to use a GPS, it's going to send me in spin circles or do something weird of some sort, right? They call it hallucinations in the AI and all that. But I mean, I don't really trust it that much. It's just that I don't care. I mean, I don't care. I don't care how fast or slow it is, sort of. It's weird. Like I'm supposed to care about all of this stuff, but I believe that's part of the zeitgeist too. You're supposed to waste a bunch of fucking time trying to navigate all of this, the American healthcare system, cybersecurity, sexual politics in the 2024, the streamer politics in 2024, the war politics in 2024, and all this other stuff. And you're constantly trying to navigate everything all the fucking time and doing nothing, exactly like the Congress. It's like they've infected us with it too. And now at this point, I'm like, well, you can talk a lot about cybersecurity, or you can just reformat and shut the fuck up.
So according to the Wall Street Journal,
stop paying demon fucking software developers to steal your information directly and supply it to Palantir, so we lose to China in the next war or whatever. I mean, I'm making right-wing jokes. You know, I don't believe that. I don't actually believe that we will see war. I think it's more like war against the rich. It's been 70 years of it's been 70 years since JFK. No resolution on any single issue except healthcare, and even that still got issues. Like, we have not had a resolution of any war. I mean, I would say World War II kind of, but then it just ascended into 10 more years of the Berlin Wall and the Cold War and, Korea and all this I mean, and Vietnam and all this shit. I don't really think we ever really ended World War II, not really. So now,
Pro. This is way back in 2017.
I don't know if caring about it now is very conductive to living a healthy life. I'm not talking about turning my back on the human race. I'm talking about having to care about every single way all of these demons have reared their fucking ugly head and their ugly claws and started slashing at our foundations and casting out the head cornerstone like me. And I don't know. I don't know. You pariah the soldier's son. I don't know what to do with you. You pariah the soldier's son in the name of money. My favorite author, she wrote a book called The Soldier's Son, and it's full of shit like this. It's full of the soldier's son being cast out by his community. It's probably because it happened to her son. So she wrote about it. Robin Hobb, she wrote a book called Soldier's Son. It's the first series in the Nevers Burvell series. I think there was 6 books in all. It was so good. And that's my favorite. That's my second favorite series of all time. The Nevers Burvell set is called Soldier's Son Trilogy. And the soldier's son, man, you fuck the soldier's sons of this generation. They can't get loans to feed their fucking family or build a business or anything. So you can go and build McMansions and make Oprah rich and Dr. Phil and fucking Hollywood and fucking, and wars overseas and Afghanistan. And have you done anything to help the American public beyond healthcare or infrastructure in schools and roads? And I mean, I don't know what you heard, but we had a bridge fall recently and 2 towns burn. We had 2 crazy whole towns burn that were worth billions basically, and we had a bridge fall. So I'm not sure we're even taking care of the infrastructure and the roads and schools very well. So I now sort of demand the American government to prove to me that they have done something for the public in the last BBB is good and healthcare is good. They have done some things. I'm not trying to say they did nothing, but I need you to, that's 2 of the 10 problems we have. That's healthcare is solved, and our infrastructure is not solved, but at least we have turned our eyes towards it. We won't have Paradise Californias anymore, right? But the other 9 problems have not been addressed at all and haven't been for 70 years. You have let your people die starving on the fucking streets with drug addictions. You have sent us to wars overseas forever that we never would have condoned, that you sent us to after the fact. You dropped the bomb after and told us after the fact and all this. And I need you to prove to me how you're not my worst enemy. I need you to prove to me that you will worry about the other 8 problems that we have. There's 10 problems that we have. It's rent, water, food, shelter, transportation, healthcare, sanity care, child care. I think I got education. And pollution, essentially, or whatever we do it's upkeep, right? Upkeep, essentially, all the upkeep that the world needs. We can't kill the coral reefs, so we won't be able to eat fish anymore. You know, we can't kill the sky with brown smog. We fly in it all the time. We breathe it, you know, and all this other shit. And so those are like the other 8 problems that some American politicians kind of talk about, about like, say, green, you know, going green. Some of them do. They like to adopt good optics images. But when it comes to actually showing any progress in the last 67 years in anything at all, beyond like healthcare, when you needed to solve 10 of the worst problems any country's ever faced in mankind's history, you just let 8 of them ride while you fight us on 2 of them and charge $2,000 for rent. How are you not my worst enemy? That's you know, if I was making videos, I would say, how is the American government not my worst enemy? I'm going to need you to prove to me in a court of law now how you are not my worst enemy. You know, I really don't know.
It was alleged that Russian hackers actually stole the NSA's, you know, entire data and procedure on cyber defense for the United States.
I trust Russian hackers more than I do the U.S. government. I'm sorry. You keep trying to fucking drag their name in the mud. But I mean, to me, the U.S. government and the Russian hackers are the same fucking greedy shitheads all trying to get rich and throwing their grannies in front of the train to get there. Throw mama from the train.
Now,
great Danny DeVito movie. I love Danny DeVito. One of my top 10.
Is hidden behind a paywall.
If Danny DeVito can do it, I sure as fucking do it. I sure as fucking do it. Shout out to Danny DeVito. I sure as fucking do it. I sure as fucking do it. If Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can Danny DeVito do it. I'll write a song called Danny DeVito Do It. I will Danny DeVito do it. Like that song that they did about moves like Jagger, right? I'll write a song called I will do it like I will Danny DeVito do it. I will Danny DeVito do it. I will Danny DeVito do it. You hear it? It's a good song. I will Danny DeVito do it. I will Danny DeVito do it. I've been fat and ugly all my goddamn life because you killed us for 70 years and it's going to end soon. You know what I'm saying? It's going to end soon. All of it. It's going to end. That boot heel on our fucking neck. on Eric Garner's neck. It's gonna die soon. I fucking believe it with all of my heart and soul. I think it's gonna die. The world can't remain this stupid for this long. I don't think it's kind of like Jurassic Park. Somebody will figure their way out of the death park, you know, and the dinosaurs will live. The rich will not kill us. I have faith. I have faith. I have faith. I have faith. The rich will not kill us. I swear to God, we're gonna make it through this.
Well, you know, just researching a little bit more, we'll probably take you to an entire situation.
And hire some more black hats.
Where
we'll take them on if we have to.
Happened was they described how the
Satan, I cast thee out. I don't know. Hades, I cast thee out. I don't know. Sephiroth, I cast thee out. Omega Weapon, I cast thee out. Donald Trump, I cast thee out. Your rich bullshit killing all of us fucking facade is over, Deathmonger.
NSA is this group in the United States that, you know, attacks foreign networks. I mean, that is what it is. They're effectively the United States' biggest keyboard warriors next to the FBI's, you know, cyber.
But he gets the respectful afterthought. Rich boy sat up there doing rich boy cocaine and fucking hookers, underage hookers, all of his life, like all the other Jeffrey fucking rich effits. And so, yeah, you can go back that fucking demon, you know? But your God probably doesn't like him, seems.
In this situation, what had actually happened was a contractor
hypocrite
was apparently using Kaspersky software on their system. And what had happened was the guy...
You think God would have let him have 32 fucking... I love teasing Christians, right? You think God... Like Christian, the Christian right that votes for Trump, right? I love teasing them, right? Love going after them in this weird tribalism war, right? But see, my tribalism war is a lot different from your tribalism war. I'm taking on both sides. Fuck you guys. Fuck the Democrats and their dinosaur do-nothing asses. Fuck the Republicans and their dinosaur do-nothing asses. Jack Johnson and John Jackson can go suck each other's dick for the rest of eternity and steal everybody's money. I'm going to go about the business of actually running the goddamn human race. Or whatever, not me. It's not me myself. I don't want that responsibility. I'm talking about anybody who actually still has a soul and hasn't stuffed a whole bunch of $100 bills where your heart used to be in this world, which has got to be what? There's like 10,000 of us on the planet. The rest of all of us have now been puppet mastered. This is why we all have these Matrix fucking shitty red pill fucking analogies and all this, right? But I'd say there's about 10,000 people on this fucking planet that didn't bow down and suck on that money god's dick. that god of money's dick. Money's their god now, and pretty much everybody in the world did it. And so there's like 10,000 of us that are autistic and crazy enough in the world to lead us out of this shitty Scrooge McDuck fucking classic, fantastic fucking nightmare that you built full of McMansions and death and wars overseas.
Which already violated the NSA.
What did Kevin Spacey say in what was it, the House of Cards, right? He was like, I don't want the McMansion, I want the old stone manse that lasts throughout the ages, right? And all the rich built McMansions instead of actual reality. Every big fucking get rich quick scheme is actually a fucking Sam Bankman-Fried, you know? SBF. He even has his own goddamn Bitcoin because he's a demon Bitcoin fucking banker, like literally the fucking like Bitcoin thief banker. And like, you know, and it's just kind of funny. Like everybody saw that it was okay to be Bernie Madoff. So now everybody but me in the world is fucking Bernie Madoff, and they're all trying to Bernie Madoff each other. They're either stealing from the grocery stores, or they're like running scams with like, you know, coupons or cards, or they're like, you know, they're just desperate. They can see the end coming of just endless poverty, and they're staring down the barrel of a lifelong debt. And they've been doing that for 50 years and shit. And this is how you treat the people that you supposedly love in this country that you supposedly love? You aren't Americans. You're Satan. The minute you stand with that money and that capitalism like that before you take care of your people first, I'm all for money, but you got to take care of the people that actually live in your country. You can't just let them die in the fucking streets with drug addictions and shit. We'll fucking kill you. I mean, I won't, but they will. You know, they'll kill you. They're the Horde. You ever actually dealt with the Horde? I dealt with the Horde for 17 fucking years. Alliance for death. Alliance to the death of me. Alliance to the death of me. Fuck the Horde. You know what I'm saying? But I dealt with the Horde all my life. Every time I showed up anywhere, 5 motherfuckers showed up and tried to rob me. Happens in Rust 2. Wherever I go, 5 motherfuckers show up and try to rob me. Fortnite, doesn't matter. Anything with PvP at all, 5 motherfuckers show up and try to rob me, right? And so anyways, I don't know why I'm getting off on this. I'm just going to get off it.
There's rules, by the way. And hackers used the Kaspersky software to grab files from a system. So it was kind of alleged that, you know, they were running like...
And so like it's been so long since I've seen a human act with honor beyond like, I don't know, Bruce Lee and John Lennon and like, I don't know, my best friends and Gandhi, maybe like Shoe on Head. You know, or like Wendigoon or somebody. I don't know. It's just weird. This guy, few other like weird luminaries and stuff that just like will not like blur the forest to look like the trees. You know, we just won't do it. We will not conflate antivirus with virus like the rest of the world will. When our system is bogged down by the antivirus program to the same degree that it would have if it had just been a Trojan, is that antivirus program not a Trojan? You know? If it does the same things that a Trojan does, it rat tunnels your system, slows you down, and reduces your fucking efficacy, how are these antivirus programs not Trojans?
They had NSA malware stored on their system, so when Kaspersky's, you know, antivirus tool was scanning the system and it found that specific piece of software had some pretty nasty heuristics, meaning characteristics of malware, it uploaded that to a cloud server belonging to Kaspersky. And apparently Russian hackers, or maybe...
Oh, good. So they used Symantec and Kaspersky to farm all the Trojans in the world so that America can't ever have a secret again. And we got a lot of secrets. Like, for instance, I could see the Japanese government and the Japanese people wanting to bomb Washington, D.C. because that's what we did to them, right? And when they figure out that we didn't even know, and I think they have figured out, they know, they're not dumb. They're not dumb like us. They aren't illiterate like us. And so they know very well that the American public had no idea that bomb was going to fucking drop, right? So man, sometimes I really kind of pray for Japan to maybe drop a nuke on DC. But I'm kidding. But I think it would be only right, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be what, like, if it was like, if it was a court of law and you drop the bomb on their city, well, he gets to drop a bomb on your city. And it would end all the world's problems if all of the world's rich were to die in a big flash, right? Which is why they always worry about the nukes the most. What threatens the rich people the most? The nuclear bomb. Which is why Fallout's in the television. It doesn't really threaten us, because, I mean, what's the difference between Fallout and what's happening with Trank? I don't really see the difference. Like, we have Scorched wandering our inner cities now. What's the difference between Fallout and America now? We have Tranked up Scorched wandering our inner cities and shit like this. It's not as bad, and there's not all these guns, thank God. But I mean, like, one of the reasons that Todd and all these other people worry about zombie apocalypse scenarios and all this is because that's the one thing that probably could reach the rich people. The landed gentry. They could probably be defended from any real attack by their government or themselves. They can probably buy their way out of most problems. They can definitely bribe other people to help them get out of problems and all this other stuff. And they've got governments backed and lobbies and all this other stuff if you're rich like that. And so then, but I don't really see, I'm getting kind of lost in the sauce. I'm sorry.
The state grabbed that information from Kaspersky and basically grabbed.
So now all the demon banker Bitcoin black hats, they used fucking antivirus programs that were thinly disguised Trojans to farm all of the Trojans and all of the Trojan information on the planet so they could subvert governments and steal from the lower and the middle class. And every news story that comes out in the modern news cycle, which is why I basically don't watch it, I only do YouTube and shit like that, is essentially them just talking about that fact that essentially anywhere that there's a place to make money, they have put a system in place to make sure that they can get it.
The NSA's scary toolkit.
From the bank loans on down to literally using Pegasus to hack our banks and cause a fucking crisis. It's literally gonna get that bad. Deep fakes and all this stupid shit, right? Until the black hats of the world renounce their dirty, shitty souls and come back to the fucking fold with the rest of the people who are actually gonna have sex in their lives, this will just continue to burn.
Now, obviously, if that is true, which there is no
longer you sit around there worrying about your GameStop ticker and all your fucking your Gucci clothes and your house in the hills and the oppression of other people and your religious wars and all this stupid shit, rather than actually furthering the human race, the harder it's going to be to dig out of the fucking war that you caused. Look at World War II. The longer you do this, the longer you work in the interest of money instead of your people. Every day that goes by, it's another day we get further from it. Do you remember how time works? The longer you act like this, the longer it's going to take to get back to normalcy again, when people could dance in the meadow with their children and not get robbed by Putin.
Real fucking confirmation. You pretty much
big scary men with big scary guns and big scary fucking suit dummies with big shitty fascist suits and guns and bombs, and AC-130 gunships in Call of Duty had 65 torture scenes. 65 torture scenes. Was that really necessary? Treyarch or whatever loser-ass company makes Call of Duty. I'm never touching Call of Duty again. When I heard 65 torture fucking scenes in all of the Call of Duty games, I think maybe 8 was appropriate. 64 is a full-blown Little Eichmann initiative to jade our young men into accepting a world that uses torture. And it's all Tom Clancy, which is why I stopped doing Tom Clancy.
Have to take the U.S.
Your war shit is right up there with your money shit and the deprivation and essentially the suppression and to me the murder of the rest of the human race. And war is right up there as your main tool. I would say war is how you attain these things. You think this is about money, but no, it'll lead to some big war. It's so stupid. You must stop now before all the children in the world are dying in a holocaust of nuclear smoke. Like, we've had too much of that in the last 100 years as it is. And you've been fucking killing us over money? and war, drugs, fascism. Couldn't you kill us for like maybe dropping a bomb on you or something? I don't know, like a real reason. Oil, so you can continue to kill the coral reefs and, you know, stay on the planet rather than going to space and all this. Keep building cars to kill the air until we have the Matrix.
Word for it. That is scary. Okay, that's literally.
You have killed the world, and yeah, I know you want to play musical chairs now, but no, there is one chair left, like that video by you know, the Silver Sun pickups, right? Substitution. They get like 16 supermodels to come do their wonderful grunge rock music video. Fucking love Silver Sun, right? They're as good as Nirvana in my opinion, or better because they're alive. And not to diss Kurt, but I mean I'll back the alive junkie before I'll back the dead one. And anyways, so I love Silver Sun more than Nirvana now, right? And one of the things that I love about Silver Sun was the substitution video where they got 12 supermodels to play musical chairs, and everybody thinks that they're hotter than everybody else, but the reality is there's one chair less. Everybody thinks they've got money, everybody thinks they got looks, everybody thinks they got clout, and everybody thinks they're cute enough to make it and pass the test, you know, pass the human litmus test to be successful or whatever. But no, if the rich continue to make it where there's always one less chair, one less seat, one less dollar for food, one more dollar for bread, one more dollar for oil, one more dollar for gas, a tank of gas, or, you know, a gallon of gas, and all this, right? And that's the nickel and diming death of all of us. Just all of us. So now I'm going to need you to control those prices. I'm going to need you to salary cap yourself. I don't need to hurt you. I don't want to. You're our leaders and our rich and our cultural elite and our cult of personality. You deserve the same 1/3 of this community as the lower and the middle class do. I love you just as much. I hate you just as much. And you deserve 1/3 just like all the rest of us. And you took 9/10. And what do we do when we catch you with your hand in the fucking cookie jar? Who took the billionaire cookie from the cookie jar? What's the most common fucking Aesop fable in the world? Who took the cookie from the cookie jar? The rich white man took the cookie from the cookie jar. Who started the religious fucking shitty wars? The rich white man started the fucking shitty religious wars. White man says that God is a white man, etc., etc. And we can go on now through all the little racism and all the little religiousness and all the problems that you cause on purpose and all the chairs that you pull out from under our children, our women, our people, our beloveds. It's just another chair taken away in the rich people's game of musical chairs. And guess who gets to sit in the last chair? That is modern economics for you. Should they have money? Yeah. Should they be able to make money? Yeah. I believe in free trade. Absolutely. Maybe even for sex. I don't care. But not for children ever. But for like sex, yep. For drugs, yep. Don't care. Make money however the fuck you want to make it. We need it. We got to get out of here. We got to get off this planet before the religious wars get us killed. We have started a religious war. A religious war has begun that will be the end of the human race. I mean, so before that happens, got to get down there to the fucking trenches. And yeah, you're going to have to relegate 1/3 of the wealth back to yourself or whatever. I know you have all of it, but you can keep 1/3 of it, like we get 1/3 of it. Give 1/3 of it to the lower class, 1/3 of it to the middle class, and 1/3 of it to the upper class, and then we're all rich. Simple general dynamic stuff. Did you guys ever see The Beautiful Mind? If we all compete for the blonde, as opposed to all getting dates, maybe the blonde doesn't get a date, but at least all of us get a date. Do you see? Remember General Dynamics and John Nash and all the solutions to all the world problems sussed out 60 years ago by a genius autistic man? Do you guys remember? They did a Academy Award-winning film. Love Russell Crowe, drinking and fighting around the world. I've done it myself. been almost kicked out of countries for fighting, you know, etc. And I would say that if you eat the rich until there's no more poor, we won't have any more poor anymore.
Maybe billions of dollars of actual defense research that is basically...
And so I will try and sow a revolution from my fucking bed. Because I try to sow a revolution from my bed, right? That's Oasis. The song keeps coming back to me because there was a bunch of lines in this that really changed me, you know? Like, I don't look back in anger for you guys fucking over the world. I just need you to change it. I'll turn the other butt cheek. I don't care. I'll turn my back to you, forget you exist, and all the evil that you did, and all the children that you raped, and all that money that you stole, if you just act nice like the other 2 children. There's 3 children in the world. That's it. Lower, middle, and upper privileged children, right? And the other children need to eat too. I realized that you thought the other 2 children were just going to die. But no, that's going to be you. The other 2 children outnumber you. So just play along nicely. Relegate 2/3 of humanity's wealth back to where it belongs. The Commonwealth. And stop acting like butt-raping demons who fuck children all day for their money and sow religious wars all over the place. And do it now. Or, you know, guess what happens? It's simple Keynesian general dynamics fucking things here, guys. I'm going to explain what happens. When you're the shithead who stole all the money from the only 2 other people in the trio, the other 2 people, the lower and the middle class, I know you're stupid, so I'm going to put it in just house MD colloquialisms for you and stuff, right? When you have a threesome, Trouble Travels in Threes, by the way, by skycat.live. Check out Trouble Travels in Threes. I wrote a song about this. When Trouble Travels in Threes, right? And the rich, which is only 1 corner of that pyramid, fucks the other 2 corners, what do you think happens? The rich go to the bottom, and the whole pyramid goes flat up. Revolution. And you want to know how you got there? You built an MLM triangle out of the world economics, and you made sure that only the money went upwards and only the money went to you. You built an MLM out of the world's economics. You learned it from Bernie. That's how I know. That's why I quoted Bernie tonight. You learned it from Bernie Madoff. I'm not dumb. You let him skate, too. So...
we've been yoinked by a foreign country, and the U.S. government can't do shit about it.
And so all of our police tactics are directly taken from the Gestapo and SS. Their main trainer came directly to Quantico in 1953 and taught every cop in this country how to directly act like SS Gestapo. Guy's name is Hans Scharf. Don't believe me? Go Google it. And that's the first real problem. We got to get the Nazis out of our goddamn government. You can jackboot thug around against nonviolent drug offenders all you want, like some kind of piece of shit SS Gestapo that you actually are, but that war on drugs, we never supported it. You pushed it through Patriot Act means, and I don't know how you got it with your dirty, shitty demon lawyers and all your demon lobbies and your Christian right trying to fuck up the world and kill us all, right? But no, it turns out that monkeys have been doing alcohol and drugs since the Garden of Eden, and you can suck a fucking dick with your fucking drug war, fascism. You can just suck a dick with that. Go fucking die at the bottom of the pyramid with your fascism. And I'll flip that. I'll pick up the world and I'm going to drop it on your fucking head, bitch. That's Lil Wayne. Eminem.
I said
Well, Slim Shady, actually, on that song. Slim Shady.
Big organizations,
That's Slim Shady on that song. I like Slim Shady. I don't like Eminem. People don't know, but you want to talk about real, actual borderline personalities. Look at Marshall, and that's probably incredibly hurtful to him to say, but I mean, it was his idea to have a fucking cipher. They've all got ciphers. Fucking, Marshall Mathers is fucking Slim Shady. Yellow Wolf is, Catfish Billy. Ritz is Johnny Valiant. They've all got ciphers, all of them, and I'm sorry, but that, just like me, when I started the whole skycat thing, and it kind of split my personality into both my gaming and my online personality, and melded both of them, and formed skycat out of like the video game character, the video game zone Sky, and my actual character Catalista, and it's kind of weird. And so now I'm half Sky and I'm half Catalista, and it's fucking weird. It's weird, and it happened to all of us. And so now I prefer Slim Shady. Every time Marshall sings, I want to puke in the fucking sink, unless he's doing vocals for a Slim Shady song, which is good sometimes. Really good. I like it when Slim Shady sings. I like it when Yellow Wolf sings. I like when Catfish Billy sings. But I mean, like, but there is a difference between 8 Mile, which is Marshall Mathers, and I Just Don't Give a Fuck, which is Slim Shady. And you guys like Marshall Mathers, and he knows this. That's what got him on the radio. I like Slim Shady, the guy who told me that he'll put your fucking nuts on a fucking top of a table and bang them shits with a spiked baseball bat. That's Slim Shady. That's the actual cipher. I don't like Marshall Mathers. Earworms all day long. I'm not afraid. Or hi, my name is, but then there's the rest of every bit of like 7 albums of Slim Shady's best work, where he smashed on every motherfucking living MC on this planet. It proved that, hey, if Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. If Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. If Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. If Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. If Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. If Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it.
Organization.
Check out Skycat's new track coming up next after drinking and dancing in the palace once again, which is coming up, but I can't sing it because it's a happy song and the government keeps trying to kill my people, so it's really hard for me to be fucking happy, but I'll shine through like Jesus and John Lennon, and if Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. If Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. Saying if Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. You heard it first here, bitch. If Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it.
Won't ever install software from a
If he can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it to them. I'm going to fucking shut their shit down. Put the shit on the streets and shut their shit down. You know what I'm saying? I just don't give a fuck. I was taught correctly by an actual cipher. I just don't give a fuck about your money or your corruption. I don't care. As long as you entertain me with your foul fall of Sodom and Gomorrah all day, I'm fine with it. Whatever.
You're never gonna find Chinese antivirus.
Jesus Christ, entertain us, please. You're so fucking boring. Here we are now. Entertain us, bitch.
Software, Indian antivirus software, Iranian antivirus software, Russian antivirus software in like the United States government. Okay, it's just never gonna happen. Maybe in certain cases like this allegedly.
I would really like to meet Courtney Love. Want to know why? I think she's the worst victim of male misogyny in the history of the human race. There's only one worse, actually. Yoko Ono. And to me, they played the same Virgin Mary sacrifice for the sins of the fathers, or whatever, I'd really like to meet Courtney Love before I die.
What happened?
I worshipped Hole. I know every word. I love Patty.
But
I love Melissa. I love them all. I love Hole. And goddamn it, for 50 years or something now, 30 years, like 30 years or something like that, right? They tried to tell me how bad it was to like Hole. I like the Hole. I don't care what you say. I like holes. I don't want to mistreat them. My body, the hand grenade.
It's in one of those scenarios where, like, obviously, I think the government, this would make sense if they banned this or just made an outline ban for the government.
It's like you treat women's bodies like it's a hand grenade.
That would make
You're scared of it. You think about it all the time. You wait for it to go off. It's so disgusting. I hate your deep-seated fucking misogyny.
Sense.
Talking all the time about how victims can't come forward too late or anything like that. God damn it.
Honestly, that kind of stuff has already happened anyways. I think it's why...
Your mother would know. Your mother will know. Your mother will find out what you say all the time.
that now, in order to protect the average person, they've actually banned all of the civilians from buying Kaspersky stuff. Now, on the surface, I think it's a little hypocritical that one of the biggest governments in the world that has entire tech
Gee, you think?
companies like Facebook, for instance.
But I mean, they're all the rich just trying to fucking spread us, you know? Just rich trying to fucking spread us. There's no particular entity or even an evil here. It's just, you know, think, you guys ever seen like a feeding frenzy of fish? Fish feeding frenzies, right? You ever seen fish feeding frenzies, right? All we're seeing here is not some evil Trump trying to fuck us all to death or anything like South Park tried to say. What we're actually witnessing here is just a feeding frenzy of primates. Greed. Right? So we've seen it in nature before, but like, right, we'll show you a fish feeding frenzy if you've never seen this before, where like barracuda or yeah, like seals go after fish and stuff, right? Yeah, sardine feeding frenzy with you know. So we're all the humans, right? So we're all the fishies. There's all the fishies in the ocean. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. We're all the fishies. There's always another fish. There's always another fish. There's always a bigger fish. That's Qui-Gon Jinn, right? I'm sorry I speak in cultural references. It was how I was trained. So anyway, there's always a bigger fish, right? But anyways, Three Dog Night. Sorry, they always get me. The minute what's his name for Three Dog Night starts singing, I start crying. I think Three Dog Night is so special. It's such a special American band. Three Dog Night. I don't like anthems like that anymore. I can't stand Johnny fucking Cash. I can't stand him. I was happy when he was gone, honestly. Not like relishing in his passing, but just honestly, I didn't like the influence of Johnny Cash, honestly. You know, I'm sorry. I know that's anti-boomer and anti-my own age or whatever. I'm sorry. I did not like Johnny Cash's voice. I don't like the music. It sounds to me like a drunk wailing over, you know, cheating on his wife and doing heroin and stuff. It sounded very bad. It wasn't lead belly depression earned honestly. It was self-imposed and it sucked. You know, I didn't want that from a country star. Country stars should be happy. Shouldn't they? Shouldn't country stars be happy? If you're singing sad, you're singing the blues. Country stars should be happy. But goddamn Johnny Cash was so fucking unhappy, I think. And I'm sorry, I disliked him for it. I'm sorry. I know that he's your personal fucking musician god or whatever, but like, I'm sorry. He was a fairly negative and sad man. So was you know, the Bard.
But with so few predators, the fish.
I was too. I mean, I which is one of the reasons why I think it's fair for me to dislike them. I see shades of the blues in people who are masquerading as country singers. And I'm sorry, but country should be fucking happy with a nice old steel guitar. Reminds you of Country Roads and stuff like that, right? Not like, oh, she done took my truck and I'm drunk and walking the line now and I can't be with her anymore and I lost my kids and now I'm walking the line and all this. And it's like, God damn it, man. Like, I want that from grunge, but I don't want it from country. I don't. So I think it's okay to not like Johnny Cash, you know, for real reasons. It drove my friends crazy all of my fucking life. I'm sorry I don't like Game of Thrones or Johnny fucking Cash. I've got my fucking reasons, you know, or Walking Dead, or I've got my fucking reasons. It's not like I picked something, fucking fired off a fucking shot at it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I very carefully watched all of these things and constructed them and listened to them many times and came up with a negative impression. I hate it, but it's true. I hate that I don't like George R.R. Martin. I hate it. But I was not happy when they said George R.R. Martin on Elden fucking Ring. I'm sorry, I was not. To me, that's the fucking dime store pulp fiction fucking fantasy writer. He's like the most poppy one. He writes so formulaic. No, the writing isn't formulaic, but the story is. It's like the standard Game of Thrones plot. He wrote it. And I'm sorry, but I came up on Robin Hobb, whose court intrigue was far superior to the point where I'd rather anytime I want to pick up a fantasy book, I just pick up her. I wish Tolkien and all these other people that spoke to other people to me like that spoke to me like that, but they did not. You know, I mean, I love Tolkien. I've read it all like 7, 8, 9 times. I love Tolkien, but it did not speak to me like Robin Hobb.
Is keep the sardines at the surface and wait for others to join them.
And so then I wanted to see Robin Hobb. I still want to see Robin Hobb splashed across video game hood. I want Fitz fucking Chivalry to come to 3D action gaming and give me the best assassin of all time. Fuck Assassin's Creed. The best assassin of all time is Fitz Chivalry. The royal assassin, the greatest figure in modern literature, as far as I'm concerned, greater than Frodo. And not that they're different things, but to me, it's greater than Frodo. I believe it in that much, you know? And so, god damn it, you ran George R.R. Martin across all of video game hood. That's so weird. It's like, it's a weird choice. There were so many better ones. So many better. I've read so much high fantasy. I can think of like 200 authors that I would have preferred to see. I'm going to use an analogy here. It's kind of like I wanted the Beatles and you gave me the Monkees. I kind of needed like a Robin Hobb or even a Melanie Ron or an Anne McCaffrey or a Terry Goodkind or I don't know, Orson Scott Card has done some good video game stuff. Give us an Orson Scott Card sci-fi again. Shadow Complex was fucking amazing. Best Metroid like ever made. Hands down. Shit's all over Super Metroid. Shit's all over it. Way better. You know, music, theme, writing, all of it. Shat all over Super Metroid. It was like RE7 Biohazard compared to Resident Evil 1, right? So yeah, get better. If you're going to bring fantasy to video games, don't use the Stephen King of fantasy. Use like the John Grisham? I don't know. It's bad to compare artists to each other. I'm not trying to diss these people, but like, I'm serious. I would take a John Grisham over a Stephen King, you know? I'm sorry, and I love Stephen King. I've read everything he's ever done. But there's better authors. There's better authors there. I think Grisham's superior to King. There are different things. But I mean, like, I would still prefer to see John Grisham write Elden Ring than George R.R. Martin. The only reason I say this is when you read like 10,000 fucking fantasy authors all your fucking childhood and shit, like, or whatever thousands, I'm sorry, but when you actually know the difference, it's really hard to swallow the hype. It's really hard to do it. When you actually know the difference, you're like, fuck, I just know that there's a better, you know, like someone that I revere much more that I would see be more successful. You know, I hate it. My mother, you know where I get this stuff from? My mother will sit there and have bitter complaints about the casting directors. And I do too. Sometimes casting directors fucking suck dick. They can't nail an actor at all anymore. And she'll just throw out people, and I'll be like, yeah, I believe you could win a trivia game with this. Be like, what's a better actor than, like, I could stump my mom. I could say, no, she's already told me, right? So she wants Idris Elba for the new James Bond. And I tend to agree, although I think, No, that's it. I think that's it. It's Idris Elba. He's actually British. And so, but they can't, like, they're going to continue to cast other people. And she'll trip over it, and she'll list like 3 people that are just clear fucking superior choices for that particular role. And she'll list why, and she'll be like, these are the movies that prove that this person has the range to do this and this and this in this area for that particular type of genre and stuff. And like, god damn it. And now I look for that in other places like video games and stuff. When you know better, like when you know better, like they play a lot of Apex and a lot of 1.6, oh sorry, not 1.6, CSGO, and they play a lot of Valorant, right? But I think they should be playing Fortnite and the finals. I think those other games are for angry boomers like me. I think the kids should be. I mean, maybe Apex is okay, but I don't even think Valorant is very much a kids game because it's played like Counter Strike, which is a fairly strategic game with a lot of elements and stuff that I would say a 14-year-old might not grasp right away. Like he'll be like, oh, sniping's good, but he won't understand that sniping's only good for certain situations. But so he's gonna sit up there and camp for hours on a sniper rifle and just die and 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 hate the game and never come back, right? And so I'm just saying, like games like Fortnite and I would say to a lesser degree Apex, not Valorant, not fucking not CS2, not CS:GO, not Call of Duty, not Call of Duty Warzone, none of them, right? Not Siege, not especially not Siege. Those kids do not belong on those adult SWAT team, close quarters or mid-range combat games where you're trying to storm, strategically storm something or take a point or something like that, right? I don't believe kids should be on games like that. I want them on Fortnite trying to kill one dude over who gets to take the hot dog from the hot dog stand first, right? I don't want them trying to plan how to get that bomb in there with 4 other dudes and taking it on like it's a life's vocation and playing the game like a no-lifer. I want them doing 20-minute little sessions and logging afterwards and all this, and you let a lot of kids on a lot of adult games, and I think that was fairly wicked of you. I think that was fairly wicked. I think now they come to demand Grand Theft Auto. I think they come to demand like Dead Island 2. I think that, I mean, it's weird that they play those games. It's weird that, I mean, I did. It's weird that we did. We played those games somehow. We managed to do it. So now, like, GTA 6 is going to sell to more minors than it does adults. I don't know how San Andreas is going to, I'm sorry, not San Andreas, but I don't know how Rockstar is going to dodge, like, the most likely probable lawsuit that'll happen when somebody does something dumb because they were influenced by Grand Theft Auto 6. And when it comes around, I'm scared that the lawyers are finally going to make a real point that, like, there's more kids playing it than there is adults and kill Grand Theft Auto. Because they've been trying to do that all of my gamer fucking life since I was, like, 13. They've been trying to kill Grand Theft Auto. Every 5 years, the Senate comes back up. The kids have no idea this shit's going on. They still won't for another, like the kids that are 16 right now, they still won't know till they're like 21 or 22 that every 5 years, the Senate full-blown tries to kill Grand Theft Auto. 5 to 7 years, something like that. Every generation of Grand Theft Auto, the Senate steps every single time. Don't believe me? Go Google it. They step and they try to kill Grand Theft Auto, and they never make the point that would sell it to get it done. They say that it's making people do bad things and making kids lazy and not do their homework and all this, right? But what the real reality is there's more kids playing it than adults because the rich need the kids to buy it and play it. The rich people need that. They need that to pay for all that software that they built. They need it. They need the kids to play Grand Theft Auto 6. They'll die before they prevent it. And they'll take the Senate shutting down their company before they deprive those kids of their Grand Theft Auto 6. Rockstar will get torn apart. But remember, there's a battle coming, right? Every 5 to 7 years, the Senate full-blown tries to kill Grand Theft Auto in whatever iteration it is in. Past Grand Theft Auto 1, I think. It's been since 1. And so now I'm scared that with the cancel culture that these shitheads and tribalists built, right? I don't give a shit about canceling anybody. I mean, it's not me. So I don't know. I'll deal with a lawyer and a judge, but I don't know about canceling anybody else in my culture. I don't speak for them. They're not me. So I don't know about canceling Rockstar for supplying more kids with Grand Theft Auto 6 than adults. And also, all they have to do to slam dunk the case is just step to the Congress and show all these kids RPing on Charles Prodigy, and all the weird predators talking to them and dressing in badonk bikinis and doing emotes up against the kids and stuff like this. I swear to God, that culture is so fucking like dirty in a way. I love the game, but the culture is fucking dirty and has a lot to do with you let a lot of kids on an adult game, right? So now I never used to care about that, but I do now. Particularly because every 5 years, it's so much more horrifically fucking violent. Like, for instance, I'm okay with kids playing Grand Theft Auto 1, Grand Theft Auto 2. That's it. There is horrible prostitution, horrible decapitation, blood, murder, helicopter crashes, full-blown wasting 50,000 cops. I will not say it any other way, right? Now, I love all this, right? But I still don't know why the demon video game developers who are running with the demon bankers and the demon politicians and all the rich money grubbers of the world, right? I still don't know why they allow kids to be on YouTube. I don't know why they allow kids on Grand Theft Auto. I don't know why they're permitting that. You can easily fucking blockchain the game purchase and prevent torrents. You could easily blockchain the fucking kids with their social to prevent them from actually getting this angry and weird and fucked up and incel and indiverse and all this other stuff that all the Congress seems to be so worried about them that they want to cancel TikTok. But no, the only real reason that all of this is like this is because you allow the mixture of adult and child culture on the internet. That's why the school shootings are happening. If I'm not anti-gun, I'm like really not, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up here, or I just sound like some liberal trying to take down guns, you know? But I mean, I don't know if they had never been exposed to that stuff until they were 18. Would Columbine have happened? We didn't have the blockchain back then, so I say, if Q were to go back in the continuum and start QAnon or whatever the fuck stupid shit, if Q were to go back in the continuum and say that, and go back to the day that, you know, I don't know, I lost my train of thought here. It's like, if Q were to go back in the continuum to the day that like, all of these kids were exposed to all of this, like the Columbine kids were exposed to, say, Call of Duty and guns and stuff like that. If Q could go back in the continuum and take the 80s movies and Mario Vassar movies and all of that and not censor it, we love our violence. We love violence more than sex. We love violence more than sex. It's sickening. It's weird. Sex is good. It procreates and stuff. Violence is very bad. It does the opposite. But that's what the rich people did to the MPAA and all this. I don't know why they're rich and whatever we need, they do the opposite, right? We needed them to protect the children. So then we got the Aviator showing Leo a pair of titties on an Academy Award-winning film. That's what we get in exchange for asking them to, you know, to keep the kids safe, right? But see, the difference is the minute that Bitcoin became a thing, we no longer needed a child to ever see porn, ever see violence, ever see anything negative at all. And I don't propose that we hide these things from them. I say they shouldn't have access to it. They should have to come by it honestly. If they cheat and see a dude getting his head blown off when they're 12 in a Call of Duty game or a Grand Theft Auto 6, I don't know. I'm not really trying to censor him from doing that. I'm saying that why should he have access to it? Why is it an issue ever in the first place? And the great honor of becoming, I don't know, when's the age of consent in most states? Is it 17? When he hits 17... he gets sex and violence at the same time, and he can finally watch Aliens 2. And he's been hearing about it all of his teenage life for like 5 fucking years, but he couldn't actually watch it, which is how it should be. And I realize that sounds like censorship a bit. But the problem is, you know what it does to their little heads. It just spins it around. It's exactly what it did to me. I'm like, to quote Korn, I'm Generation XXX. I'm all about the weed smoke and the kinky sex. You know, I'm Generation XXX. I'm pretty much Generation XXX. I'm like in between, you know, I'm in between Generation X and the millennials. And so I'm like Generation XXX. That's the kids who bought Korn. We're the children of the Korn. Korn wrote albums about it. I love Jonathan Davis. He was a fucking genius, like really true genius, you know? And he talked about it all the time. The children of the fucking Korn. That's who we actually are, right? So, but it didn't need to be that way. I'm actually far more okay with a 13-year-old smoking weed than I am with them playing Grand Theft Auto 6. That's very weird, but true. I think it's a lot less harmful for a 13-year-old to smoke weed than it is for them to see a booty grind in the fucking stripper parking lot, strip joint parking lot from a fucking basically naked stripper, and then they go into the strip club, they smoke a blunt. This kid's 12, you know what I'm saying? This kid's 12. They smoke a blunt in the... It happened to me in Grand Theft Auto 3. I was like 15, and I was like, I knew what the stuff was, but I had not seen it gratuitously in front of me and stuff. So then it blew my mind. My friends are like, let's go see if this actually happens in this game. And so we stopped doing missions and we just started seeing what we could do with Grand Theft Auto 3. And I discovered that you could take a fucking hooker over to grass and she'll hump you, full blown hump you to completion, and you pay her. And then later on by Grand Theft Auto 5, you're like going into the strip club afterwards to go tip booty strippers while Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar are playing. The kids are fucking 12. They're 12. You have any idea what that fucking does to them? I'm not talking about the violence. It's weird. I'm talking about the sex that's in Grand Theft Auto, actually, and all the adult themes. The violence, I think they see from a very, very early age. But there's a lot more themes in Grand Theft Auto that are just not appropriate for like a 13-year-old child. And now I used to really hate when they said that about Grand Theft Auto, but now I understand it better. Like, I really feel that I got into some car chases, and I definitely tried prostitution once, which I'm not proud of. And I definitely, fucked around with pretty much all of that shit, guns and drugs and all that stuff. And I don't really want to control all that. I just want to control it with children. We couldn't have ever done it when I was that age. We didn't have the tech. We have the tech now. We didn't even have the tech to block the cable boxes from porn. So I started jacking off to full-blown butt sex porn when I was like 13 years old off of my parents' pay-per-view for free. They literally piped in 2 minutes of fucking, not Skinamax, which is softcore porn. I'm talking about XXX, like full-blown butt sex porn. And I saw that shit when I was like 13 on my fucking cable box. And I've always thought it was kind of the sex that sort of twists everybody. The violence is something that I think even a baby is sort of aware of. Not that they should be exposed to it, but they're just aware of it. Now, sex, I don't know. So my whole thing with Grand Theft Auto 6 is make it Grand Theft Auto for kids. Double your game, double the money, be a smart fucking piece of shit conglomerate fucking, Fox executive or Rockstar executive or whatever, and get double the money and give the kids the Grand Theft Auto with no blood, no sex, and no real, explosion violence. Just, give them a Splatoon Grand Theft Auto. What's wrong with that? You're a dude in a city and there's gangs and they all want to get chocolate cake, but there's not enough chocolate cake because the mafia is controlling the chocolate factory. You can totally dumb it down like that. Why not? And the mafia sucks, but when you shoot at them, it's not with guns, it's with paintballs or something. Like, make it Grand Theft Auto Kids, right? I'm serious. Like, this sounds so fucking demented, but if you look at Splatoon, you would understand. The kids need this. Like, if you understand what Splatoon is, you'd understand what I'm saying. Like they need a Splatoon. Grand Theft Auto 5, they need it. They will continue to do Grand Theft Auto 6 and get jaded by all the explosions, all the sex, all the wanton violence, all the mafia winning instead of the cops and all this stuff, right? And all the civilians and the running people over and the hookers and all this stuff, right? That's disrespectful. Sex workers, whatever, Splatoon was an excellent example of Call of Duty for kids. And they need this. You're so stupid. You're so obsessed with being demon developers and demon bankers and demon money counters and demon money lenders and demon thieves in the temple and demon child diddlers and all this other stuff. You're so obsessed with the power over children that you forgot what power of children is. If you were to just make them a Splatoon Grand Theft Auto 5 and get them the fuck off Grand Theft Auto 6 like the base demon fucking degenerate fucking piece of shit Republicrat fucking F it fucking thieves that you are, stealing from children and stealing their innocence, like literally like Satan. But nah, you took that blockchain and you used it to as currency to purchase child porn. Instead of actually using the blockchain to prevent children from seeing a hooker give a dude a blowjob in a strip joint at the age of 12. You have any idea what that's going to do to kids? He's going to think that the blowjob is the average transaction. He's going to think the blowjob's the new sex. He's going to think that women are just objects to put his penis inside of, and all this other shitty shit that just leads to all these other problems in society that have to end now. And so I don't care that they play Grand Theft Auto on kids' Grand Theft Auto. I don't care if they watch fucking TikTok on kids' TikTok. The demon, shitty banker people who took over our world and our governments are out to rape the children of their innocence too, which is why Hollywood got shitty. It's why the Marvel universe sucks dick now. They're out to disappoint, make all the children unhappy, that all the content sucks. South Park talks about it all the fucking time, that multiverse shit sucked. It's lazy writing. The kids know it. They're not dumb. They love Miles Morales, but I don't know if they grew up with Miles Morales. I guess they did now. It's kind of weird. So anyways, or we didn't, I didn't grow up with Miles Morales. I don't know shit about Miles Morales. I don't care what who he is. I just don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about Miles Morales whatsoever. That's cool. That's a new character. Whatever. New character to me.
What's up, everyone?
So I still have never seen any of those fucking movies. I've seen the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire or whatever, but I don't, I'm not an MCU fan. I've never been. I really I got over the X-Men in MCU when I was like 13. I just never did it again. And so now, I'm like, God damn it. Now the kids are like unhappy because their games aren't that good and their videos aren't as good as they've been, and their TV isn't as good as it's been, and the anime isn't as good as Bleach, and none of them are, none of them are very happy with what the grown-ups are doing. I don't think a lot of the shit is whack. I would say it's fucking whack. It's like whack from old dinosaurs who are trying to rob children of their fun money. It's disgusting and base. So then what do? Well, you split YouTube, you split Grand Theft Auto, you make double the money. You seem to be you're geniuses at fucking work. I don't think I'd trust you with $1. You don't know business fucking ethics or any kind of fucking approach or strategy. What the fuck soever. Get the kids off Grand Theft Auto, make Grand Theft Auto K. GTA K. GTAC. Get the kids off Grand Theft Auto 6, you weird, shitty demon people that turn an entire generation into Generation XXX with Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City and San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5 and stuff. You turn an entire fucking generation into Generation XXX, right? You didn't need to do that, did you? YouTube did it too. And so split YouTube, split fucking TikTok, split fucking video games, split Xbox Game Pass. I don't ever want to talk to a child on a fucking video game again. And becoming 18 should be this wonderful thing. It should be this mark of passage. You get to see violent movies. They've seen all that shit since they were 5. You've been robbing them of their innocence since they were fucking 5. I'm not saying they shouldn't see violence or anything. Look at Splatoon, right? Look at Splatoon 3. It looks fucking amazing. They know what violence is. As soon as they were born, they were violently ripped out of the womb. It's stupid to assume they don't know what violence is, but it is fair to assume they won't know what sex is till at least 12, 13, something like that. But if they're seeing it on Grand Theft Auto 5, on their brother's Grand Theft Auto 5 and shit like that, you have to protect this better. You have not protected these kids. I consider you right up there with Jeffrey. I consider Sony and Xbox and Steam right up there. I saw so many kids on Rust that really shouldn't have been talking to me about the shitty sexual shit that they were fucking talking to me on as I turned the fucking mute on immediately. What the fuck, And I'm sorry, that's not me. I didn't want that. I turned it off fucking immediately. I'm like, what? And I never turned it back on. My voice has been off for goddamn a year and a half or something like that. On Rust. You ever play Rust without voice? It's actually pretty much not really the same fucking game, Ooh, did I get a party? Hey, you want to? Yes, I do. Yes, please. Yeah, and I see no problem with that. And I think all these fucking streamers kind of capitalized off sexualizing kids. I think a lot of these people that consider themselves to be at the top of the fucking market actually were just sexualizing kids. I think rock stars at the top of the fucking market, despite only making 2 or 3 games in the last 10 years or something like that, they're always top of the market because they're the ones that are sexualizing the children the most. And I have a serious fucking issue with it now. I didn't used to, because it didn't used to be so bad, but now it's so graphic and so fucked up that I would equate Grand Theft Auto 6 essentially to watching Last House on the Left. Or like, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You absolutely can saw through a whole bunch of goddamn citizens in some warehouse or some place in Grand Theft Auto 6, I guarantee it. Where I really don't see the fucking difference between that kid and Leatherface. I don't see the difference.
Incoming Tau.
I think I got a party. Yeah, I gotta go get my I didn't get Signet, but that's okay. I can warp back and it's very quick. So cool. I caught an XP party finally. So yeah, and I'm not saying the kids shouldn't see violence or shouldn't see adult themes. Maybe they shouldn't, I guess. But I don't know. Like I feel like kids watch a lot of adult themed stuff anyways. I watched Batman the Animated Series when I was like 10. And that television show was so adult, you know, in my opinion, it really was. And like, I don't know, I think at a very young age, like, I think we kind of lost our way when it comes to that. And I think one of the things that Bitcoin could really do for this world that didn't damage it the way that Bitcoin did is put every child on this planet on a blockchain number and make sure they're not fucking playing Grand Theft Auto 6. Is that fucking hard? I think that's what an Xbox sign-in is, but you don't prevent them from playing the game. I think you probably better get some facial recognition going or something. You've got to actually prevent these kids from turning into weird sicko fucking, you know, Richard Ramirez types. You got to do something to get them off that game. Give them a Splatoon Grand Theft Auto 5 and make it illegal for them or their parents even to let them play Grand Theft Auto 5 and actually prosecute the parents and catch them and stuff and get them off these adult games. And I think you'd be surprised how much of the society might fix too. A lot of these people have scored 100,000 frags in their lifetime or more. I know I'm one of them. So what does killing one person in the real life kind of seem after you killed 100,000 VR missions, you know? It does desensitize you that. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's bad when you're young, you know? It's bad when you're young. When you're 18, you can watch all the sex and violence you want. Who the fuck cares? Watch every horror movie and all that. But I really feel like a lot of the ways that they held a chokehold on this world was sort of like messing up the kids, sort of, you know? That's how they maintain the chokehold. A lot of them don't vote, you know? I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, you know, this is because we failed them. And it's not their fault. It is not some failure of theirs. It is our failure, you know?
And welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be covering one of my most highly requested topics, which is the best maps for every dually in Splatoon 3. Every map discussed in this
Look how fun this fucking game looks. It looks amazing.
Just my opinion.
You can like slide around on all the fucking snail trail and shit. Tell me you don't love a good snail trail. We all love a good snail trail. You know? We all love like shooting our load all over things or whatever. Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, Splatoon is great. Now, why can't you Splatoon Grand Theft Auto 5? Why did you turn 3 generations into Generation Triple X? All 3 of us are Generation Triple X. We're like the 3 generations that were essentially shown YouTube porn, sex, and violence at the age of like 7. And that's okay. But it wasn't ideal. You know, I'm not saying take it away or prosecute or anything. I don't think there should be like court cases against this or anything, or even like shutting anybody down. I'm saying in the future, just embrace the notion of the power of the kids and give them a good kids Grand Theft Auto, you know? Grand Theft Auto 2 is a kids game. I would say it's a kids game. It's horrifically violent and horrible. So I'm all set. I can leave now. The fastest one is, I think, upper. Yeah, upper. This is good camp because you can just run from the outpost and get there really quick. Oh, I went too far. Did I? If I got everything I need, I do. But I need to bio before I show at that camp. So yeah, I'll go bio here. But I want to get the teleport so they see me that I'm traveling. Oh, I didn't buy the weapon. Oh, god damn it, I have to buy the weapon. He said take my time, okay. Well, I do. I need to take my time and buy the weapon, because, you know. So what is this thing called? It's Lilith's Rod. I need 2 of them. Are they Rare X? No. I can get 2 of these. Cool. So, clubs. Lilith. Oh, Fey Wand. I want the Lilith's Rod, because they're cheap. Yep, 2,500. Fine by me. Excuse me. So we're going to bio and then I'm going to start a video and then I'm going to XP for a while. Is it this one?
Incoming tell. Incoming tell.
Okay, sorry. So we'll watch Splatoon, but I can't do it while I'm away. So hold on. I'm going to go piss and then I'll come back. I love Splatoon. I've never played it either, but I love the fundamental fucking... I love Splatoon. I think Splatoon is the future of gaming. I really do. So to further the point, right? To further the point, when have we ever not separated child goods from adult goods? We have children's clothes, we have children's foods, we have pint-sized things for kids. I don't like talking about kids this much, but whatever. The reality is pretty much every product on the planet except video games is split into adult and kids sizes, proportions, and access. Alcohol, tobacco are adult things. Bubble gum and candy are kid things, but adults can buy them, etc. It's like everything's split to go to the appropriate target, right? Except for things that rob kids of their innocence and mess them up mentally and jade them and screw them up, right? Why do they do this? I believe it is because a kind of addled, sort of slightly unhappy, totally distracted, social media obsessed kid is going to struggle to focus on what they're doing, right? And I think that's why they do this. I think that's why they exposed us to Grand Theft Auto. Now all the time, I want to play Grand Theft Auto, but when I get in the game, I'm like, this is boring. This is boring compared to Rust. It's boring compared to Eve or FFXI. This is boring. Grand Theft Auto is boring. It's boring. It's a small world to me. It doesn't have a lot of mobs. It's not really... not really a grind set game. It's more of a story game and a multiplayer game. And I don't know, it's just not really usually my style anymore. But I crave it. I crave Grand Theft Auto like crack constantly, all the fucking time. You want to know why? My theory is I crave that loss of innocence again because it was fundamentally paramount to me. I liken it to like losing your virginity or something like that when you hire a hooker and then fuck her in the strip joint and then smoke a blunt and then back over 500 people on a sidewalk when you're like 12, it has a lasting impression. Now, you can do those things conceptually and probably not mess up the kid, but you can't show the sex, the blood, the violence, the gore, the dismemberment, the dead bodies, or any of that stuff. So give them Splatoon. Split Grand Theft Auto 6, and I'm gonna say it again, right? Like a smart businessman would have completely segregated the video game community. I consider pretty much all of the AAA now to be full-blown wicked, as in their main goal is to steal innocence from the young, and mess them up so that they're just trapped on the worlds, distracted during social media and playing games all day. That's a good addled person, and that's okay. That's what I do. I do too. But the difference is you're free to do so if you want to do that stuff to your life and live this life that I live. You are free to do so when you are 18. But before that, your access to it, I think, should be challenged in a much, much, much more careful, much more like assured way, where I want to live in a world where a young boy or young girl or anybody can live until the age of 18 and not be forced to know what a headshot looks like, or what maybe sex work looks like, or all the things Grand Theft Auto has, violence or strip clubs or anything like that. I would like to think that child access to these adult themes is controlled by some kind of code that prevents them from doing it, which is the one thing that I think our tech can do. I don't think the AI can stop them from watching it, but I think we can blockchain the game, where if they want to log in that fucking game, it challenges their right to be playing it if they're underage, and it challenges where they got the game from, and that copy is unique, and it's accounted for, and it checks the IP and makes sure it's a child's IP and not an adult's IP. And there's all these other things about VPN that kind of get around all that, right? But what the fuck is a 12-year-old could know about VPN, but I think only Grand Theft Auto 5 or 6 would ever teach him to care about stuff like that. Like, one of the things I disliked about Grand Theft Auto 5 is they showed Michael's kid as me. They like took a stab. Rockstar took a stab at my generation with Michael's son. I can't remember his name, but he was like the gamer that plays COD all day or Grand Theft Auto and lives on energy drinks and has a big screen TV, and he's chilling back on his bed with his expensive console, and he's on his cell phone with his privileged girlfriend, and they're making money and stuff in the game together and all this and this was reality for me for like 13, 14 years, but in my eyes, Rockstar didn't like me. They didn't like what they turned me into. But I mean, like, you did do that to me. I had never seen a violent game like State of Decay or Grand Theft Auto in my whole life until Grand Theft Auto 2. And even 2 wasn't that violent. It was thematically horrible, but it wasn't like blood, guts, and pussy all day. Like Grand Theft Auto 5. It's not like that. It was a lot more honest, and so was 2. 1 and 2 were honest. 3 was a little dirty in the respect that every child in the world played it, and I'm fairly sure it was all of our rites of passage. Like, for instance, like my mother's generation, for women, they had a book called Our Bodies Ourselves, which is a big fucking difference. Right, which was written by the Boston Women's Health Book Collective, just telling women what the names of their body parts were, what happens when they get a period, what happens when they get pregnant, what to do if you get pregnant, who to talk to, where to go, what to expect, and all this stuff. And you'd be surprised how little the rich people care about women knowing about their bodies. I first learned about this from Orange is the New Black when Piper asks all the women of the prison to identify the what is it, the not the labia, but the mons pubis, I think, or something like that. I forget what she asked to identify, but and then they go through the actual actresses themselves And you begin to realize that for some reason, women have been prevented from understanding what the vagina is or does. Now, I don't know why that's the case. And that's a lot different now with OBGYNs and the Google and the internet, and we're on our way to killing that sort of ignorance. But it is an example of of the differences in the generations, this book, right? This was a rite of passage for most women, my mother's age, I think in the 60s and 70s and stuff. But for the rite of passage, I think for like men anyways, in the aughts, was Grand Theft Auto. And it used to be like Boy Scouts or church, and those are all like right-wing Christian ideal things. I'm talking about like Sunday at the park, dominoes on the porch, or skateboarding or that kind of thing. And it's weird. I think with the assault on their innocence is also the death of their childhood, so that they don't want to do childhood things. You can see it in the way they talk about drip and stuff like this. Like South Park talked about drip as cred, because it is their street cred. Their drip is their street cred. That is okay. It's okay to be like that. We did that too. Everybody does that. Everybody fucking, cocks and preens like a rooster when they're 20 years old. Everybody does. That's the breeding age. Everybody, when they're like 20 years old, they cock and preen like a fucking rooster, and they wear raver clothes and slutty clothes, and they dance at clubs, and they fuck each other like rabbits, and that's how humans work. That's just who we are. That's natural. That's normal. But up until our bodies ourselves, the suppression of that stuff was so, what's the word? Permeated. It permeated every aspect of our culture. The suppression of female sexuality, the suppression of male rambunctiousness, and it's weird because, and I would say that Grand Theft Auto is kind of like a way of sort of doing our bodies ourselves, but just showing us the goddamn sex itself and the violence itself. There's no explanation. There's no, like, when the child sees a headshot, there's not this, like when he's 18 years old and he sees his first headshot, there should be a tutorial menu going that is explaining to him how shocking it is when he's gonna see his first headshot. And do I say control children from seeing things? Not necessarily. It sounds like censorship to me. I'm just saying that wouldn't it be better for the video game industry to split all their products in two and keep it separate? And I think the kids would be happier and we would be happier. And on top of it, like, I really don't think that a 20-year-old kid should have to compete with a 50-year-old man. And I don't think a 50-year-old man should have to compete with a 20-year-old kid for different reasons, right? One being that the 50-year-old man might have no job and might be retired and able to sit there for 105 hours a week and do a stream on top of it or whatever, like me. I'm not 50, but but like I'm close. And that's not fair to the 20-year-old kid. He's got college or high school girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, or she has a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. So, and that's not too fair for the kid, because the adult has been doing this for 30 years. So why the fuck should the kid have to contend with an adult? That's why the Call of Duty lobby was so goddamn toxic, and why all those little kids were yelling the M-word over and over and over again, like little savage fucking heathens. Like Americans actually act like that. Americans do not act like that. If you were to walk around the street hammering the M-word like these little kids do in the Call of Duty lobby, you would get your fucking ass beat so fucking quick in any major metropolitan city. It's an impossibility. It's literally not, it's not possible, really. You can't do that. So that reality is only possible online, and the reason that they do that is that the adults jaded the children, and honestly, fighting kids is a bitter thing for adults, because we have jobs, and then it also works both ways. Often the kid is off for summer, but we have jobs. It goes both ways, and so really we never should have mixed in the first fucking place. Like, if you look at Dr. K. Look at Dr. K, right? He did almost every major streamer out there. I would love to talk to the man myself, because I probably need him the most, right? I believe, unfortunately, I believe that Athene and poor Reckful needed him more. But yeah, if you look at Dr. K, all of the people that he is talking to, I would say you could universally say that they were all universally exposed to triple X sex when they were like 12 in forms of like porn, movies, softcore porn. Maybe they snuck on a porn site, which isn't too hard. And I would say it messes them up. And I think they always go to a death site too, and they see what real death looks like too. And if they can't get it there, they'll look in the video games. And some of them are good people or whatever. So I mean, all of them are good people, but some of them are actually not looking to fuck up their lives by losing their innocence. I've met a whole bunch of them, you know, who are like, I don't really want to do some violent movie or some television show. I've seen this before. Like they're like, I don't need that loss of my innocence. I've heard this before. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. And I like it when they do this. I wish we could have more sense like that. It's not like I've ever like exposed children to some sort of like, weird porn or anything like that. I've never done anything like that. I promise you, right? I really promise you, all my heart, soul. I'm not hiding anything. Never done anything fucking weird like that, But I think the world does it to them. I think by 12 they know what sex is because every woman is using it as her main thoroughfare, her main access to success. I believe almost every woman out there is using it in some form or another, the same way that men use money. I think if I'm going to make a sexist comment and say that women use their attractive bodies to their advantage, and I don't think that's a bad thing, nor do I think it's sexist to say it. I think you can say the same thing that men use their property, their skills, and their money to their advantage, and I don't think it's sexist to say that about either one. That is true, and I would say neither one are inherently bad actors with it either. Nope, I would not say showing your body is a bad thing. I don't believe it. I don't shame women for doing it. I don't shame men. I don't care what you do with your body. I just don't want it mixing with children. So now all of these streamers are seeing Dr. K, and I can tell you what uniformly happened to all of them. It's what happened to me. They were doing drugs by 13. They were doing Grand Theft Auto by 15. They were having sex by 15. And they were full-blown, like, out of the house by 16, running out there till 11 o'clock at night with all the punkers and skaters and druggies and everybody. And running the streets wild. That's how my generation was. I don't think the newer generations shared that as much, but they definitely did. And, like, I don't know, now I think if you were to look for a unifying theme with all the fucked up people that get busted for PDF file all the time and all this shit, it's because they were jaded at a very young fucking age by, I would say, conglomerates, basically, to believe that food should all be McDonald's colored and women should all be, I don't know, what's a good example? Megan Fox, and men should all be Ewan McGregor and, Beckham and all this other totally unrealistic shit. I'm sorry, but most of us are frankly Charlie Brown. We're frankly Charlie Brown and Lucy. I know you guys like cartoons and funnies and stuff. I know I grew up on them. I know you like Charlie Brown, right? We're all still Charlie Brown and Lucy, though. We're not that hot. We fancy ourselves better than I think we actually are a lot of the time. Some people are really beautiful, but it's just kind of funny. We're all kind of normal-looking human beings, I think, sort of. Some of us are super hot and get ahead in life because of it, but most of us are just sort of average-looking human beings. I would say everybody on stream right now is not unattractive or super attractive, just normal human beings, I would say. Everybody on the screen, hopefully myself as well. I just look like hopefully a normal human being. Now the streamers don't. Do you notice how Dr. K does look like a normal human being? The streamers don't. And the reason that this is because they were shown sex, they were shown violence, they were raped by their parents, they were raped by other weird actors and stuff. There was a lot of American domestic violence because of the poverty and the struggle. There was a lot of the lower class eating itself as it was killed by the upper class. There was a lot of drinking. Prohibition came because of the suffrage movement, claiming that all these men were coming home because of the Great Depression and the crash and the Dust Bowl, and they were just like getting fucking wasted at the saloon, and they had nothing better to do. They were sitting there 7 days a week. They get too drunk, they come home, they act up. Their wife yells at them, so they beat the shit out of them. and it's not that's not an excuse or okay or anything like that. But that's how we got prohibition. The women started complaining and saying that it was wicked because it was fucking wicked. It's wicked to treat women like that. It's wicked to treat children like that. It's wicked to treat yourself like that. Kind of. It's like wicked. It's sort of against God in a way. It's like you are taking what God gave you and hurting it by domestic violence or self-harm or any of that stuff, like overly drinking or overly using drugs. I'm totally fine with blowing 2 fucking lines. What I'm not okay with is doing any more for another fucking couple of years or at least a couple of months, you know? Like, you know, I'm okay with doing all those things. I don't care about heroin or meth or any of that stuff. I think they're a generation of hard drugs, and I don't think you should take that away from them. I don't want you to take that away from me. So now, lonely addicted males, right? Here's Dr. K talking about a crisis of lonely addicted males, and the Christian right said it was the death of family values, and the liberal left said that it was like the violence and guns and sex on TV and Mothers Against Drunk Driving and all the stuff that is generally hated by the PC community, the people who dislike PC, right? Like political, like PC principle and such, like all that stuff that South Park talked about, right? So now,
started the Diary of a CEO just over 3 years ago now, and in my wildest expectations, we might have had 100,000 subscribers.
Thank you, the Diary of a CEO. I've liked and subbed to your channel. Oh, I'm supposed to. He didn't call me back, so yep. I don't believe I'm ready for party anymore. I'm going to. Okay, so
how shocked I am that so many of you have chosen to tune into these conversations every week. And
I love this guy. I really like this guy. This guy went and interviewed the main KKK guy, Diary of a CEO, and he's so good. I love this fucking content creator. He's so fucking good. He went and interviewed the lead of the KKK. I trust the lead of the KKK more than I trust Joe Biden. That man does not scare me. Not because of what he believes or the shit that he does, but because the man himself is like the consummate polite dude who is not racist. And if you don't believe me, go watch the Diary of CEO interview the KKK leader, right? And you'll see right away that all of that weird Christian white right bullshit, that's all an act. They're not like that at all. All that Proud Boy shit, they're actually not like that. They're these down home Southerners who believe in God and Christian family values and all this, who don't want harm to anybody and are forced by their God to love their neighbor generally. Now they can be sort of hateful and discriminating, but they're not generally like that. And so I will speak in defense of them when I say that, yeah, the leader of the KKK, I trust him like I trust Mr. Rogers. That man is not scary in his personal countenance anyways. He's scary in his professional life, but he's not scary. I would sit down. Oh, I don't want to sit down with him. Fuck him. But I mean, like, you know, but I would be okay with being in the same room with him, I think. I doubt he's ever killed anybody, and I doubt he's ever really harmed anybody, and he's definitely harmed people with his racism and shit like that, like mentally and verbally. But as for like the scary things that you might think that the KKK might get up to, like burning people or burning crosses and shit like that, I would say that dude's probably not too guilty of that. If I were to wager a guess, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But after watching Diary of a CEO investigate the KKK leader, the current one, I began to realize that so much of this is a straight up money bullshit lie by rich people, you know? Yes. I farted.
Some time with us. So thank you. And I made a deal with you. I made a deal that if you subscribe to this show, that we would continue to raise the bar. And in 2024, we're going to raise the bar like never before. I've been working for the last 9 months on a surprise for all of you that have subscribed to this show, and I'm very excited to deliver that for you. The production's going to change. We're going to go even further with our guests, and we're going to tell even more global stories. So as always, if you appreciate what we're doing here, the simple, free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Let's get on with the episode. Dr. K.
Stephen.
With all of your work and all of the content you've produced, if someone's just clicked on this podcast now, what do you think they're going to get out of this conversation? What do you think they're going to walk away with?
I hope what they'll walk away with is the realization that you are the instrument of your life. And understanding that fundamental instrument that you use to live your life, your body, your mind, will ultimately help you accomplish whatever you want.
And what is the opposite mindset to that? To understanding that you're the instrument of your life? What is the typical mindset that people have that go through their lives without the realization that they are the instrument of their life?
I think it's assuming that something outside of them will fix things inside of them, right? So people will think like, okay, if I get a promotion, then I'll be happy. If I date this person, then I will be happy. If I have this amount of money, I will be happy. Everyone
incoming party invite.
Extra things outside of you will fix things inside of you.
Why is this subject close to home for you?
Because I used to believe that. So I struggled a lot. I mean, I'm by all definitions of the word an absolute failure. I failed out of college, was finished school at the age of 35 or 36. You know, it took me a long time to kind of get on my feet and figure out what I was doing in my life. And I realized that like the reason that I was screwing up so much is because I always thought that accomplishing something outside of me or achieving some kind of goal would make me happy. And I didn't understand that all of my problems came from me. I also blamed all kinds of things outside of me. So I would blame circumstances. I would blame my professor is biased. This girl is, you know, she doesn't see the goodness that I have in me. She can't recognize how awesome I am. So I kept on blaming things outside of me instead of
it's you. It's always you. It's always you.
Take me from that point.
That's loser talk.
That brings you to sit here today as an accomplished individual, as a doctor, and so on.
God damn it. No, wait, go back. What'd you do?
You know, she doesn't see the goodness that I have in me. She can't recognize how awesome I am. So I kept on blaming things outside of me instead of accepting responsibility.
Take me from that point onwards. So what happened that brings you to sit here today as an accomplished individual, as a doc?
It was the death of our innocence. Like this guy. I would say he probably has the same problems, really.
So I think my journey starts with failure. So I think we think about failure as a negative thing, but I think that that's what actually got me started on my journey. After failing out of college, I went to India and I stayed in a monastery or ashram for about 3 months, and it completely
This is what my best friend did.
So what I sort of realized is that, kind of like what I was saying, is that, see, I had assumed that things outside of me were responsible for things inside of me.
Nope,
So
it's always you.
For example, I attached my sense of
life is a contract that you sign up for, and it's always you. It's always you. Now, it's random good things happen to bad people, and random things happen, like the fuselage falling in what's it called? Donnie Darko. You know, Donnie, like what happened to Donnie Darko. Bad things happen to good people, but it's fairly uncommon because we spend most of our time trying to prevent that from happening. So you know.
Self-worth.
So it's almost always you. It's never that she didn't sleep with you or they didn't pay you enough. It's always something. It's something you didn't do, or something that you didn't know, or something you didn't study enough for. It's some personal failure almost always. Now, occasionally bad things happen, you know, but we knock on wood and we I don't know. You pray that it doesn't. 486, not bad. Why did I hit 486? Okay, so where am I now? Oh, I have to take her to Jita to go get her booster. So I will move from locations to Jita set. Go. I love Final Fantasy 11.
To getting an A. So when I went to college, I was planning on becoming a doctor, and as any Indian kid wants to do, I wanted to go to Harvard. And so I had sort of all these grand dreams of what I wanted to accomplish in life and how I wanted to
Why?
be a force in the world and all this kind of stuff. It's all ego.
You wish to limit yourself?
So what sort of happened is, even though I wanted all of these things, I assumed that all of that accomplishment would bring me happiness. It's when I went to India that I sort of discovered that like no amount of external accomplishment will bring you lasting happiness. And this is what we sort of see. These are the people that I work with now. You know, I'll work with someone like a banker or a doctor or a content creator. And for all of these people, it's like once you accomplish your goal, your mind moves the goalposts. So you got promoted to vice president. Yep. Now you need to be director. Then you need to be managing director. Then you need to be, you know, there's always more. The mind always wants more. So chasing after all of that will never lead to lasting happiness. So once I sort of started to realize that, I kind of gave up all of my desires for accomplishment. And the real paradox there is that as I let go of all of my goals, I started to become more successful. And so instead of trying to be something great, I just focused on, you know, small targets. I sort of focused on my spiritual practice. I tried to become a monk and take vows at the age of like 22, and my teachers rejected me. So I said, I'm ready to forsake my life. And they said, you have nothing worth giving up. Your life is meaningless. Like you have nothing worth giving up. So go back to the United States, rise as high as you can, finish a doctoral degree, actually get something worth giving up. And then at the age of 30, if you still want to take vows, we'll take them.
Yep.
What situation must you have been in at that point, though, before you went off at sort of 21 years old to that ashram to be so prepared to give everything up? Because I heard that, reading through your story, that you had addictive behaviors at that point already.
Yeah, so I struggled a lot with video game addiction. So I started playing video games when I was very young. And then in high school, it really started to impact my grades. In college, I was basically playing video games all day long instead of like going to class and stuff like that. Like I remember waking up the morning of my Spanish final, so this is my final exam, and then realizing that I like wasn't very prepared for it, so I just turned off my alarm clock and went back to sleep, and therefore guaranteed failure. And so where I was mentally was just in a really bad place. So I had all of these goals and aspirations, and I was so frustrated with myself that I couldn't bring myself to do what I wanted. Right? So I knew that I had to study more. Every single day I would wake up and be like, I have to study more. I have to catch up. I've fallen behind. And so I'd have all of these thoughts, and no matter how much I wanted something, it seemed like my body or my brain would just not listen to me. It wanted the video game more. It wanted something else more. And so what I really was I had no control over my life. I was probably depressed. If I had seen a psychiatrist, I'm sure I would have gotten diagnosed with something. Brief periods of suicidality, basically waking up at noon every day, playing video games all day long. And I also remember, like, before I had to play to the point of absolute exhaustion. Because if I put my head on the pillow and I did not pass out, all of the thoughts that I was keeping at bay with the video games would come rushing back about how I'm ruining my life day after day after day after day.
Autopilot
and I was just sort of
jumping.
sinking deeper and deeper and like falling into a pit that I could not climb out of.
So the ashram in India tells you that you can't give up your life. What happened then? And why did you
Moving to
specialize in
Stargate.
psychiatry?
Warp drive
So
active.
when I went to med school, I mean, when I was in med school, I still had ego. So, I mean, I still have ego now, but so I was gonna like combine Eastern medicine and sort of focus on evidence-based complementary and alternative medicine. And I was gonna be an oncologist and be a real doctor and save lives. But what I really found is that in med school, a couple of things. One is my favorite organ was the mind. So what I fell in love with in India was the mind and sort of the internal sense of self and all this
Approaching
kind of stuff.
Stargate.
So I really liked that. And then I think that my people were in psychiatry. So the other thing that happened is I was trying to decide between internal medicine and oncology and psychiatry. And so one of my mentors in med school told me, like,
Autopilot
do this.
jumping.
So do 1 month of each and then just ask yourself, which one do you enjoy more? So on the one hand, when I was thinking about oncology, this was also chasing a desire, right? I had this idea that I wanted to be a real doctor, right? Because those are like, oh, I want to cure
Moving
cancer.
to
Like, that's like,
Stargate.
let's be like a real
Warp
solid
drive
doctor. And do
active.
that. And then what I noticed was that now what internal medicine has become is very like sitting in front of a computer. So when you work in a hospital, like 8 hours of the day, I'm sitting in front of a computer and you spend very little time with your patients. And then over time, I started to realize that like psychiatry is the only field of medicine that we're losing the war in. So if you look at medical outcomes for things like bypass surgery and stuff like that, those are really good. And this is really insane to really think about. So we can take your body, Stephen, and we can give you a heart from a different human being. We can give you a kidney from a different human being. We can give you a liver from a
Approaching
different human being.
Stargate.
If you have a part of your body that doesn't work, we can literally rip it out of you, stick in a new one, and you will survive. So outcomes in every field of medicine are improving except for mental health. So mental health is the one area where addictions are getting worse, depression is getting worse.
It's true.
Suicidality is getting worse. And
Yep.
this is in spite of advances in neuroscience. So something has happened where we've missed something about the mind. And everyone is getting sicker. So like this was the problem that really
It's loss of innocence. My best friend said it best. I've learned to understand that me not acknowledging my own softness as a human being in a world whose mission it is to destroy all softness really takes me to a dark place. And that's a direct verbatim quote from my best friend. It meant so much to me when I heard it that I memorized it. And I can say it again. I think I'll probably mangle about 5 of the 40 words or something. But it's like I've come to realize that me denying myself my own softness in a world that has made it their goal to destroy all softness takes you to a really dark place. And that is true. It has to do with death of innocence. Death of innocence will fuck you up worse than anything else.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
and this isn't about my desire. This is sort of where we.
It's my desire.
Dharma or duty.
Don't you want to know why we keep stopping fires? It's my desire. It's my desire. Fire in the disco. Fire in the Taco Bell. Fire in the disco. Fire at the gates of hell.
I recognize that I'm lucky. I'm this kid who
Approaching Stargate.
got to spend 7 years studying to become a monk in India.
It's my
so I
desire.
spent but I spent my summers
It's
there.
my desire.
So I had this really unique perspective. And then I got to train at Harvard Medical School. And what am I supposed to do with this knowledge?
Don't you want to know why I keep starting fires?
Devoted
It's
to
my
understanding
desire.
how human beings work. And like, I had this very kind of, chic private practice in Boston where I worked with very, very successful people and helped them achieve. And then I sort of realized, like, that's not what I'm
Warping
here
to
for, right?
Stargate.
So I've gotten 15
Warp drive
years
active.
to learn all of this stuff, and like, there's no shortage of people lining up to help CEOs with their mental health. There's absolutely a shortage of people helping 25-year-old incels who are like on the internet, who everyone wants to throw in jail because they're very hateful and misogynistic and things like that. So I sort of realized that, like, okay, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to do it.
Okay, so I've got a big question, but before just to tee up that big question, you said you had this practice in Boston where you were working
Approaching
with
Stargate.
sort of high-profile individuals, etc. What is the full spectrum of individuals that you've spent time working with on a one-on-one basis or through your practice?
I worked with people out of MIT, incubators, CEOs, entrepreneurs, things like that. So a lot of high-performance people. But then I've also worked with, like, losers, let's say. So this is also more intensely. This is everything from 25-year-old kid who's living in his mom's basement playing video games all day, to people who are even homeless.
Warping to Stargate.
So I work with, like,
Warp
basically
drive
like the whole
active.
spectrum.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You used the word losers there. You did little air quotes for anyone that can't see you right now. I'm really interested, when you talked about incels as well, whether the way society is and the way that we're heading in terms of clarity over what it is to be a man has had any impact on those people that you refer to as incels.
My problem with the dating pool, and it has nothing to do with women. Oh no, did he aggro? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did aggro, I think. Did he aggro? No, he didn't aggro. Nice. He's pro. Fuck yeah, dude. Good shit. All right, here we go.
Autopilot jumping.
Punch. 5, 4, 3, go.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Fun as hell when you one-shot it. It's my desire. It's my desire. Oh man, I think I'll probably sing an Electric Six album on my stream probably this month sometime. I want to cut 2 songs, but I just have not had the mood. I've not had the mood. Maybe I'm not a singer anymore. I don't know. I've not had the mood, but sooner or later I'm going to cut 2 songs. I'm going to do White Palace, and then Danny DeVito, Do It. Danny DeVito, do it, right? Danny DeVito, do it.
Jumping.
Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. Danny DeVito can do it, I can do
Warp
it.
drive active.
If Danny DeVito can do it, I can do it. Danny DeVito. It would be a good song. I think I'll probably do it.
Like I'm like,
Danny DeVito can do it, I can do
we
it.
now have this digital world that we can
Oh, no,
live
no,
our
no,
lives
no,
in
no,
as
no.
a distraction from the real world.
Oops.
And there's now more confusion than ever over what it is to be a man and the role of a man in a, and then we look at the stats around suicidality.
Oops.
And I think in Europe, the biggest killer of men under the age of 45 is themselves currently. Is the shifting
Approaching
idea
station.
of what it is to be a man having an impact on people's sense of self and their purpose?
100%.
Okay, so
there's
now
a crisis that's
I need to
going
turn on
And people think
autopilot.
that this is new, but I don't think it's new. It's always been there. So if you look at, like,
Docking
even 50,
permission
60 years
requested.
ago,
Oops. No.
80% of
Autopilot
suicides
disabled. Docking request
are still going to be
accepted.
men. So historically, men have been killing themselves for like 100 years, and no one's been paying attention. We're
Autopilot
just noticing
disabled.
now because the problem
Waypoint
seems to be getting
reached.
worse. So there's a couple of things that are really interesting to understand. So one is that if we look at what technology is doing to our brains, the first thing that it's doing is it is externalizing our attention. So if you look back, like let's say 1,000 years ago, as human beings, we spent a lot more time with ourselves. So let's say that you and I go out hunting, and then let's say you shoot an arrow at a deer and you miss, and then I shoot an arrow at a deer and I hit. So in this moment, I'm superior to you. And then we pick up the deer and we're carrying it back, and then we have about 2 or 3 hours to take that emotional insult and we kind of process it. We just give our mind space to process it, which it does automatically. Now, if you look at what happens in people's days, they don't actually have any time to process what happens to them because we are so constantly distracted by external things. So I don't know if you're like this, but I was in this point where I was idiotically efficient. So I would wake up in the morning and I would listen to a podcast.
I don't care about that. I don't do that. Nope. I used to do that so much. I still brush my teeth in the shower. I still piss when I'm going outside. If I ever go up and down a set of stairs, I bring whatever it is I need with me when I go because I cannot stand going back for it. I can't stand going back for it. Yeah. And I used to optimize every aspect of my life. I used to use uppers so I could do video games for 6 days straight and eat and have a girlfriend and maintain a life and maintain rent and pay things and have a job and all this other stuff. And I was like a workaholic kind of. And I would say that, yeah. He's slow.
Approaching Stargate.
Your skill has increased.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
So you're taking me all the way, right? Yep, all the way. Let's go down. Let's go all the way.
Like doing my exercise or whatever, and then even when I'm cooking, I'm listening to a lecture, and then like when I'm walking to the train, I have earbuds in, and I'm listening to a lecture there on the train.
I do all this shit. I like when I'm walking, I'm listening to a podcast, I'm waving to the neighbors, I'm looking at the sky, I'm looking around, trying to get everything done all at once. It's like all of it. Like I'll be like on my phone trying to walk and talk and all this stuff.
To Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate.
Excuse me.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
I love Black Mage in a party. It's like my favorite thing to do in Final Fantasy, maybe. It's just so lazy. You just sit there and wait, and then chuck out the big damage. It's so lazy.
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping.
Your skill has increased.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
See how much control Black Mage has? I fucking love it. Wait for us, bitch. Wait.
Reading. I wanted my life to be
Approaching
completely
Stargate.
efficient. I didn't want to waste a single moment.
I literally listen to the news in the shower. It's
Right? So we don't want to waste time. And so if you really think about it, where's the attention?
I do. I
of
listen
your
to
mind? Your
listen
mind
to
is
streams when I'm in the shower and stuff. Yep.
And so then what happens is
Autopilot
once we do
jumping.
not pay attention to ourselves.
Yep.
we
I've been trying to
lose
stop
sight
do that.
Of our internal signals. Literally in the same way that if you raise a child in a dark cave, the photoreceptors in their eyes won't develop.
Warping
They will
to Stargate.
atrophy. So
Warp drive
anything that the
active.
mind does not get access to will start to atrophy. If I don't practice Spanish, I'm going to forget Spanish. The brain is a very efficient organ. So as we externalize our attention, we lose sight of our internal signals. We don't know who we are anymore. And now if I don't know who I am, how do I figure out who I'm supposed to be? I pay attention to the outside. Where are the answers? They're on the outside. So this person is talking about
Approaching
masculinity. This
Stargate.
person is talking about what it means to be a man. This person is talking about what it means to be a man. And now since I don't have any internal source of information, I'm trying to figure out what it means to be a man from the outside world.
I
This is
don't.
when men get
Autopilot jumping.
I have someone else's definition of man, but it coincides with my own. I didn't know what it was till I heard it, but yeah, it is one that I adopted. And I haven't changed it. It's a man should be mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally available to his partner, his children, his partner's children, and the children in his community. And I'm a man, at least I think I am.
truly fucked. Because what it means...
No issues with it. No problem. If you are those things, if you are not a bad actor, if you are not attacking your own, if you're not attacking your own,
Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
did I die? No.
Approaching Stargate.
I'm gonna change a macro here. I have an idea for
Autopilot
macro. My sleep 2. I want 2 of them, but I want one to be I want Ellie sleep, right? I want Ellie sleep 2. Ellie's sleep 2, right? But I want to go copy line
Warping to
paste.
Stargate. Warp drive active.
Job ability elemental seal me wait 2
Approaching Stargate.
No, wait 1. Yep. So what happened here? Did I die? No, I didn't die. I'm totally fine. I'll probably be totally fine. Yep. Cool. So, but you need a booster, and I haven't got it in you yet. It's annoying. Booster. Consume. Booster, go, go. Consume. There we go.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Okay, let's listen to
Means
more of
be a
this.
man, we are getting all kinds of mixed signals. So on the one hand, it means being physically fit. On the other hand, it means being a provider. On one hand, it means having sex with as many women as you can find. On the other hand, it
Not as many. More like enough, enough women. Enough women.
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Okay.
means having sex with just one woman and being a really solid man and being a good father. And then there's also people telling us that being a man means that you're shit, right? That you're toxic, that your testosterone level makes you violent, that you're evil, that you're privileged, that there's a patriarchy, all this kind of stuff. So we're getting all this information from the outside about what it means to be a man.
Approaching Stargate.
And so the other, there are all kinds of interesting ramifications of this. So men in today's society are not allowed to complain. So if you complain and you're a successful person or a privileged person, everyone is going to think you're arrogant. Everyone is going to think, oh my God, who's this fucking guy? This guy doesn't know what my life is like. How does he have any right to complain? And even your mind will tell you this. You'll look at these people and you'll be like, yeah, I don't have a right to complain. But now we need to stop for a second and think about what it does to your psychology when you as a human being are not allowed to articulate yourself.
To Stargate.
I've worked with people who've grown up in abusive households where children will say to their parents, Mommy, Daddy, I'm hurting. And the parent smacks him across the face. How dare you? You're so lucky. You don't realize the sacrifices I make for you. It's traumatizing to the child when they say, I am suffering and no one listens. This is what we're doing to the generation of men. People are saying, I am suffering. For 100 years, men have been killing themselves. 80% of suicides are men. The most dangerous thing for a man under 45 is themselves. And these people have been literally killing themselves because no one has been listening to them. So
I listen to myself all the time, like about since 2015 when I would say the industry died and MMORPGs died and I retreated back to my homeland because my homeland in the real world was being taken by the rich. And you know, it was a bad time in my life. And I realized that the minute that I just started keeping my own counsel, about pretty much everything. I stopped taking anyone else's, not even my girlfriend most of the time. I would listen to her and everything she wanted, and I would make everything she wanted, you know. But I mean, like, I didn't take into I did not take her opinion into counsel, even about my drugs or anything at all. And she understood that about me. I think it wasn't about control or going out of control. It was that, like, I wanted my own life. Like, it would always be my decision. I think she respects that about me. And with that came, when I started keeping my own counsel, I also had to get sober.
Approaching Stargate.
And that also helped with it. It, like, you know, when I chose the water over the wine for, you know, quit methamphetamine pretty much completely. Not pretty much, but like completely, for it's been 7 years, you know.
Jumping.
It was hard, but it wasn't this thing that I came to willingly at first. I had to do it for my family and stuff. For her, my best friend, my whole inner circle and stuff. They all knew I wasn't going to do it for myself, because I just was I was against against all of it. I was against even me. You know, I was like against me, like the band. I was anti-me. I was anti what I turned into, kind of. But I didn't beat myself up ever. I wouldn't say I ever had a low self-esteem problem or even depression. It was mostly like, well, I really like being fucking high. I would do it all my life if I could. Their judgment fucking sucks, and they ruin me. They ruin my fucking life over it for just being in love with a woman who liked drugs, women who like drugs and stuff. It is so fucking stupid. And like I don't know, like I don't want to whine about it, but I got to this point where I was like, I had to realize two things. I was like, sobriety isn't something I'm taking willingly. It's something I was forced into by fascists. And when I took it like that and looked at it like that, it was acceptable to me. It's a cop-out. It's like a punk dad excuse. It's like a Salt Lake City punk excuse to say that, oh, I stopped doing drugs because the social pressure of the amount of jail that you fucking threatened me with made me want to fucking blow up the goddamn court building and sue you for $100 million. And at that point, you know, for fucking like cruel and unusual punishment and all this, and the violation of a right to a speedy trial, and essentially using a sentence like a guillotine and terrifying me for like 4 years, and it was just like terrible, you know. And and I didn't know how it was gonna go or any clue or anything. And I had to realize that I had come unwillingly. They had won. I wouldn't say they won in like a victory way. It was like they had fought me about it all my fucking life. And at that point I was like, well, if you're just gonna fucking fight me about it at every single fucking turn, like I'm your fucking enemy, every single fucking turn I had to deal with them over and over. Every time there was problems. It was so stupid. I didn't see them that much, but I saw them a lot, right? And I went 13 years without seeing them. And I was proud of this, and this to me was the victory over it. I was like, I didn't stop. I just stopped getting caught. I mean, I took taxis everywhere I went. I stopped doing stupid things. Until the end, when I was like, you know, rock bottom, and I lost my girlfriend due to some rando asshole who had nothing to do with any of it. It was just threatened her and terrified the shit out of her, so she left, and that was just random. And I blamed him. I never blamed her for that. But I blamed him, and I blamed the system, and I blamed poverty, and I blamed the fact that my job's technically illegal. I blamed the government. I blamed the 4.5 years it took to do 3 applications, 2 appeals. Oops. And
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Getting resisted a lot. I need that staff they have, but I already spent 450k this week. And I mean, I don't have a million gil right now to blow on scrolls and a staff right out of my ass. I kind of had a goldsmith for 6 weeks to get that money. So, doing other games and being a streamer and shit. So, god damn it. I need that staff they have, the Apollo and the fucking Dark staff and all that. Maybe they're cheap now, but they were terrible when I last looked. They were like 125,000 a piece, which is goddamn highway robbery. Should always be around 55k. It's always been 55k. It's always been like 53 to fucking 59k for a dark to light to whatever staff. But now anybody can just charge whatever they want, which I do like. But it's unnecessary to gouge scrolls like that. It's counterproductive to the server, you know. God damn it! Did we link? No, we didn't link. I can log her. There's Punch. Oop. Yay!
Autopilot jumping.
Yay! Smile, ding!
In a household that's abusive, where no one takes you seriously, no one listens to your suffering, and now we even have successful men who are not allowed to complain. So the psychological impact is the same.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like I stopped not giving me permission to make errors. I got sort of more harsh with other people. Like, for instance, I returned the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC for Elden Ring. And I'm not doing that to shock anybody. I did it because I felt crossed by the company. They didn't warn me that I couldn't play it right away. I felt very, very dissed by that. And so I'm going to live by my fucking, by my fucking principles and not play the goddamn DLC because I'm, disappointed that they treated me that way.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
I love Black Mage. I love Black Mage Burn. It's just fucking fun. The pacing of it is so satisfying. It reminds me of bowling, right? It reminds me of bowling. We're all sitting here like pins, but we're all like group bowling, and the ball, we're the pins, and the ball's coming in, and we have to like one shot the ball to get a strike. And the timing is kind of the same. It's like waiting for the mob to come in. It's about the same time. You'd almost have to wait for somebody to go around a bowling. It's kind of like waiting for turns in bowling. This game, I love the timing of it. It has a good gaming rhythm to it. Okay, there we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. What happened? Oh.
Your skill has increased.
What happened to my elemental seal, damn it?
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.